Hello everyone, Pat Farabee here. For those of you who don't know, there's a new channel on YouTube called the Godless Kitchen. Basically, some members of the YouTube atheist community are posting some of their favorite recipes and sharing those with the rest of the community. So I figured I'd submit one of my favorites and join in the fun. We'll call this one the Spicy Shrimp Soup of Eternal Damnation. Now, I have a lot of vegan friends, and there are a lot of vegan members of the atheist community here on YouTube, so as a nod to them, I'm also going to post a follow-up video, which will be this soup in vegetable form. But for the shrimp soup, we're going to start with 2 quarts of chicken broth. We're also going to add 8 chicken bouillon cubes, which should make this broth nice and rich. And we're going to add a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. So again, that's 2 quarts chicken broth, 8 chicken bouillon cubes, and 6 ounces of tomato paste. Now you'll need a nice big pot like this one. This is a 6-quart pot. Bring it to a boil, then reduce the heat so that it just bubbles like this. Then continue adding your ingredients. This will give those chicken bouillon cubes a chance to start breaking down. Okay, now that all that stuff's in the pot, it's time to add some spices. Please don't pay any attention to what's written on these spoons. These are the only ones I had available. So as such, they're not indicative of exactly how much you're going to add. Simply go by what I'm going to tell you. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of celery seed. And then we're going to add red pepper, red cayenne, to flavor, to your taste. You may want to add just 1/8 of a teaspoon if you don't really like spicy stuff. If you're like me and you really like it spicy, maybe add a whole teaspoon. It's really up to you. I'm going to suggest 1/4 teaspoon for most people. Okay, spices are in there. Now it's time to add some garlic. We're going to add garlic powder. This is 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. We're also going to add minced garlic. Now, you may want to mince your own, but I prefer to purchase it. According to this jar, 1/2 teaspoon equals approximately 1 clove of garlic. Depending on your taste, you want to add from 3 to 6 cloves of garlic into this. I'm going to add 6. So that's 1 tablespoon according to this jar. Be sure to check the jar that you purchase because they do vary. Okay, we're also going to add some sunflower kernels. These are Planters dry roasted sunflower kernels, 1/4 cup. You're also going to add a full cup of butter, which is an entire stick. I suggest you add butter and not margarine. And now the clams. We're going to add an 8-ounce bottle of clam juice and a 6.5-ounce can of chopped clams. Now these are clams in clam juice. If you can't find clams in clam juice, you can use them in water. I would suggest draining it though if it's not in clam juice. So we're going to dump all this right in there. Okay, now that most of the ingredients have been added, we're going to reduce this to low. We're going to cook this for 1 hour covered, stirring occasionally. Be sure and check on it. You want this to boil a low bubbling boil like this, but not a big rolling boil. So check it periodically. Again, we're going to reduce this to low and cook it for 1 hour covered. Okay, it's been an hour, so let's take a look. Nice and bubbly. It's time to add the next ingredient. So we're going to add some sin to this to keep it godless. Yes, that's right, we're going to add alcohol. This is Oliver Winery's Camelot Honey Mead. Oliver Winery is located in Bloomington, Indiana, where I went to college. It's kind of a micro winery. Really good stuff. The only thing I had close to a white wine in the house was this honey mead. You're going to want to add pretty much any kind of white wine, 1 cup worth. So once we add the wine, we're going to cover it again, cook it for 1 more hour on low, and then we'll add the final ingredient. And now we come to the final ingredient. This is 2 pounds of refrigerator temperature cocktail shrimp, tails removed. You can add raw shrimp if you like. The problem with that is that if you add raw shrimp with the tails attached, then you have to remove the tails as you eat the soup, which can be somewhat inconvenient. Now whether you use raw shrimp or pre-cooked shrimp, you're only going to let this be in the soup for about 3 minutes before you serve it. The reason for that is if you leave it in there longer, then the shrimp becomes rather rubbery and it loses a lot of the appeal. So literally you're going to dump the shrimp in there, let it set for a few minutes, and then ladle it into bowls, and you're ready to go. So let's see the final product. Okay, and here is the finished soup. It's nice and red. You'll notice that the shrimp are starting to close on themselves. That means that it's really time to get this out of this pan, because again, if you let it set for more than just a few minutes, it's going to start to turn rubbery on you. So when they close on themselves like that, eat it. This is a soup that's really good to make however many servings you need, and not too much more. You can put this in containers and freeze it. It does nuke up really good, but you'll have that rubbery issue on the shrimp. There's really no way around that. So let's get this in the bowl, and I'll show you what a bowl looks like. And here we have a bowl of the finished spicy shrimp soup of doom and destruction. There were about 80 shrimp total, and there's about 8 bowls in the pot, so that means there's around 10 in each bowl. Now again, you're going to want to ladle this out as quickly as possible, that way the shrimp don't get rubbery. I suggest that if there's only one of you, or maybe two, then you should reduce the recipe by half, so there'll be about 4 bowls. That way you don't end up wasting shrimp. Now you can freeze this. It will reheat, it tastes really good, but the shrimp will be a little rubbery. If you can live with that, go for it. Now occasionally you'll find a nice big hunk of clam meat, but most of the clams boil down to just little bits in the bottom. Now when you get to the dregs, what you'll end up with is broth and little bits of clam and pepper, which tastes great. So give this soup a try. And also be sure to watch the follow-up video where I will make a vegetable version of this soup. I've never tried a vegetable version of this soup before, so basically I just came up with a recipe based on this soup, and we'll give it a try. Until then, take care. Thanks for watching. Feel free to PM me and let me know what you think of it. This is Patrick Farabee. Take care and have a good day.